Hello, church family. Hope you're having a great day today. Let's just jump right into the word. We're going to jump into Luke, and I'm going to go to Luke chapter number 1, and we're going to start at verse number 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, of the division of Abijah. His wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and the ordinance of the Lord, blameless. But they had no child, because Elizabeth was barren, and they were both well advanced in years. I love this passage of Scripture because in this passage of Scripture, we literally watch as it describes two people. We see as it describes a man by the name of Zacharias, which we knew was a priest, and his wife Elizabeth, and it begins to describe them as being a man and a woman who loved the Lord. Now, I don't know about your relationship with God, but I know about my relationship with God. I know that I love the Lord, and I know that He loves me more than I love Him. And the reason why I know that is because when I mess up, when I make mistakes, when I do things that I probably said I wouldn't do, or if I get frustrated, or if I get messed up in different situations in my life, the Lord seems to be standing there waiting for me to say, here I am again. And I love that about the Lord. And here we see that Zacharias and Elizabeth had this longing for God. It even goes on to say in the scripture that they were blameless. In other words, no one could, if someone went around and said, hey, they're this or they're that, it wouldn't be true, because they were blameless to the Lord. They walked in the commandments of God. They did what they were supposed to do to be a man and a woman of God. They practiced the scriptures. They didn't just talk about it, they did it. We're living in a generation where a lot of people talks about things, but they don't do it. We live in a generation now where people say, I'm going to accomplish, I'm going to get into church, I'm going to live for God, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But at the first sign of trouble, they don't do it. But this was a man and a woman that when they woke up in the morning, it was about God. When they went to bed at night, it was about God. They were blameless before the Lord. They ran after the Lord. But then it goes on to say, and I want to read this one more time. It says that it goes on to say that they were both righteous before God. So before God, in the presence of God, they were righteous. But then it says, not only were they righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and all the ordinance of the Lord, they were blameless, but they had no child. Now, isn't this amazing that it goes from they're blameless before God, they're walking with God, they're living for God, but then it says they had no child. Now that's kind of cool, because they're doing what they're supposed to do, but yet the one thing that they wanted more than anything else in the world, they didn't have it. We're going to pick this up tomorrow, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow, because I really want to get into it, because there are times in our life that we do everything that we're supposed to do, but we still don't really have what we think we should have or what we really want. But it's in those moments that we trust God anyway, that God will show up and show out. We'll see you tomorrow.